Welcome back, everyone, to Day 10 of our Cybersecurity Command Center training. Today's explainer is all about locking down the absolute foundation of digital security. We're talking authentication and authorization. Let's get right into it. Real quick, here's our rundown for today. We'll start with an intro to access control, break down exactly what authentication and authorization actually are, compare them with some practical examples, look at why they're so critical in cybersecurity, and wrap it all up with our Day 10 summary.
Okay, Section 1, Introduction to Access Control.
So, you know that in our constantly threatened, deep black cyber environment, our biggest operational challenge is simply controlling access. And secure digital systems rely entirely on two fundamental interlocking concepts, authentication and authorization. Now, while they work together really closely to protect our resources, it's absolutely crucial to remember that they serve very different purposes, and they have to happen in a strict sequence. Moving to Section 2, what exactly is authentication? Every single security protocol kicks off with authentication, and it anchors itself to one vital burning question: who are you? Seriously, you can just think of this as the digital front door to any system. Formally speaking, authentication, or AuthN for short, is the process of verifying exactly who a user, device, or process is before we let them anywhere near the good stuff. Think about going to the airport. Authentication is the passport control checkpoint. You absolutely must prove that you are the person your passport says you are, just to get into the terminal. And to prove that identity, we've got a whole toolkit of methods. These range from stuff you know, like your standard username and password, to advanced biometric inherence factors, things you literally are, like fingerprint and facial recognition. We also use possession factors, like an OTP or a one-time password sent to your phone. And the real magic happens when we stack these into multi-factor authentication, or MFA, making that digital front door practically bulletproof. All right, Section 3. What is authorization? Okay, so you made it through the front door. Awesome. But now authorization hits you with a totally different question. What are you actually allowed to do? Because simply proving you are who you say you are definitely doesn't mean we're handing you the keys to the kingdom. Let's define it. Authorization, which we abbreviate as AuthZ, is the process of determining what an authenticated user is permitted to access and actually perform within a system. Going back to our airport analogy, if authentication is passport control, authorization is your boarding pass. It absolutely does not give you permission to fly the plane, right? It just grants you access to a specific flight and a specific seat class. A really great way to visualize this in action is through a role-based access control model. Notice how your assigned role dictates your privileges post-authentication. A viewer might only get to read the data. An admin actually gets to edit the core settings, and billing interacts exclusively with the financial side. Basically, your role draws the boundaries of your sandbox. Section 4. Differences and practical examples. Let's put them head-to-head because the contrast is actually super clear. On the left side, authentication verifies your identity, it always happens first, and it confirms the user. On the right side, authorization determines your permissions, it happens after you're authenticated, and it controls your actual access. The easiest way to remember this? Authentication is the bouncer guarding the front door, authorization is the VIP host making sure you stay in your assigned section. Let's ground this in a real-world scenario we all deal with, an online banking session. Step 1 is authentication. You open the app and log in using your username, password, or maybe Face ID. Boom, you're verified. Step 2 is authorization. Now the banking system checks to see if your account tier actually allows you to view certain transactions or transfer a specific amount of funds. Section 5, Importance in Cybersecurity. Why do we care so much? Well, when you lock down strong authentication and authorization controls, the benefits are massive. You prevent unauthorized access and protect highly sensitive data from catastrophic breaches. You also get to seamlessly enforce security policies, like the principle of least privilege, meaning people only get the bare minimum access they need to do their jobs. Plus, it makes improving compliance with strict regulatory standards a whole lot easier. In a truly robust setup, this entire workflow functions as a sequential, highly logical check. First, a request comes in, and the system asks, is the required role assigned? That's our role-based check. Next, do specific conditions exist right now? That's our attribute-based check. It filters down layer by layer, evaluating the permissions before it finally decides to grant or deny access to the protected resource. Which brings us to Section 6, our Day 10 summary. Look, if you take away just one single thing from this explainer today, let it be this. Authentication verifies identity. Authorization determines permissions. Together, they execute a seamless one-two punch to provide secure access control. Never forget that these two distinct pillars form the absolute bedrock of modern cybersecurity. I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought. In a world completely dominated by remote work and cloud computing, those traditional digital perimeters, they're practically gone. As we move deeper into the era of zero-trust security, how will you ensure that the right people have the exact right access? Think on that, and I'll catch you in the next lesson of our Explainer series.